Hello there, this is Team Fortress TV, and we've got some European action for you tonight. We're with a battle of the mid-tables, essentially. My name's Sideshow, with me is CommanderX. We have ondkaja on the camera and production. So this is week 3 in Season 22, powered by Saloon TF's Premiership division, and it's Animate versus Serpents. And neither of these teams have really got off to the best starts, but they're going to be dueling it out on Gullywash and Product. And I think it's going to be fairly even between these two teams. We've been watching the PCWs and stuff like that just beforehand, CommanderX. What do you think about this matchup? He's dead.
I'm halfway through a cigarette. He literally, as I put it in my mouth to roll it shut, you went, what do you think of this, CommanderX? But no, I think it's going to be like outrageously close. Like Animate had a really good warm-up. Apparently the Russians are in a really good mood. You know, they played Reason. It didn't go like, perfectly, but they're in a good mood. They've got like a new look lineup, which maybe we should talk about for a bit, which is going to be their main lineup for the rest of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. They've had a bit of a sticky start to the season. They've been playing against some difficult opponents just the beginning of season 22 here. They've been playing against Reason and Epsilon, who everybody's saying are going to be ended up in the 1 and 2 slots for the end of the season. So you would of course expect them to be losing those two, and pretty much in a fairly quick fashion as well, which they did. They got rolled. It wasn't close, but nobody was particularly expecting it to be. They're being pegged as more of a mid-table team, and they have made some changes to the roster, which we'll talk about. But if you look over at the Animate side as well, they've lost to TLR and Full Tilt. And although they did battle their way into Prem, I think they had the idea in their head that they could be trying to take maps or points off those two teams, and it really wasn't very close between those two teams in the official whatsoever, despite the fact that they did put up a 6-1 performance in a PCW just before this against TLR. They thrashed them on Gullywash.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see. It's so hard to call because there's such a multitude of things can happen. Like, in a lot of senses, the Russians have probably a better chance, but then at the same time, lots of their players don't play consistently now. So how can you know what I mean? It's really hard to judge how they're going to play, like GDK, Unhuman, how these players are going to actually perform when suddenly, put back into the top level.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's have a run through the roster, actually, since that really is one of the biggest talking points here in this matchup, how these players are going to be performing, how it differs from previous rosters that they've tried to run with Serpents, and also how rusty they are. So do you want to run us through the roster, CommanderX? Yeah,
it's going to be the ever-present now sort of White Glow on Medic. He's played for every Prem Russian team since season whenever, way back when. It's going to be GDK coming back on demo, which is, I guess, one of the riskier ones, just again due to his rustiness, and even in the recent seasons he's played, he's not even actually been that great. Forsaken and Shadowburn, which is, I guess, where they're putting most of their hope on as the soldier combo. And it will be Inhuman and Kenzie on Scout.
Yeah, and that's an interesting one because there's so much potential there for crazy plays. I mean, almost all of those players have been in frag clip moments, have been in those casts where they've just gone insane. I mean, I remember watching just a few days ago some really old frag movies that White Glow made, where GDK is just landing 6Ks all over the place, Pledge is screaming, Scully's giving birth. There's mess everywhere. There's crit stickies flying off, and then the soldier combo is so powerful for this Serpents team as well when they've got Shadowburn and Forsaken sat next to each other, and the scouts as well. I mean, on Human I don't particularly remember that much, but you said he's a fairly solid scout, and he's paired up next to Kenzie, who previously has been a bit of a DM powerhouse, but in the PCWs they were putting up very bad numbers. CX.
Yeah, we watched them on Gullywash against kind of Reason, but most of them were playing off class, and we had a Merc or two. And yeah, it was just really chaotic. GDK and Human really struggling to find their feet. Kenzie had some sick plays as Sniper, and then possibly one of the worst performances ever on Scout. It was a real
crazy.
Mixed bag.
2 for 15 on Scout after 13 minutes is awful, with like 150 DPM or something like that, and then 22 for 7 on Sniper, playing like 16 minutes or something, and so ended up positive. And given the maps that they're playing, Kenzie could run a full-time Sniper, and it really wouldn't hold them back that much. In fact, it would probably do a lot better for them, given that Kenzie probably isn't feeling Scout right now. But it's going to be an area in which they're lacking, and an area in which Nookie and Walters can make really big inroads, I think, depending on how much they try and abuse the flank of Serpents.
Yeah, it's going to... There's so many different things that could go wrong, and both teams coming off like a high as well just means we're probably set up for a really good game. I don't know what to call it.
Absolutely, I think that there are so many things that can be happening here, but let's try and narrow down what we think might happen, what we can theorize might happen in between these few players. The teams that are going up against each other, just in terms of playstyle CX, you've got Animate, where Natural is calling. He's a very slow caller. He likes to slow the game down a lot. But you have got Nation roaming there, quite an intelligent roaming soldier, be able to abuse the flank a little bit, and then paired up with some big DM scouts. Do you think they're a team that can slow things down and make Serpents bleed into them, or are they just going to get overwhelmed?
I think they're going to bleed into them. I think because of the newish nature of this lineup, there's not going to be that same kind of like synergy to the aggression from Serpents. So I think, especially with like the experienced players, and like even though Natural's not the best going forward, he does hit a lot of shots when he's just standing there waiting for hitting players coming in one by one. It's just going to be easy. And with Walters and Nookie backing him up as well, it's just going to be easy pickings. So I think on Gullywash, because like, you know, between 2 and 3 and there's 2 doors, that's quite easy for Animate to lock down. I think they will just completely shut out Serpents, and Serpents will just keep throwing bodies into like the mincer and just be pulled apart, and then Animate can just move forward on like major numbers advantages. But I think Viaduct will be a different story, just because the openness of a map doesn't really allow you to shut people down in the same way.
Yeah, that's an interesting one as well, because the way that teams counter a sniper is incredibly important, and I think we're going to be seeing a lot of sniper. Would you agree? I mean, I think we're going to see almost full-time sniper from Kenzie on Viaduct.
We could see like 5 different snipers tonight, and all of them hit ridiculous shots.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we haven't even touched on Nookie and Walters, who are both like fantastic snipers, both had amazing points as sniper in the past. It's going to be a really interesting one, actually, whether or not they choose to run a counter sniper. Is that what you would do in Animate's shoes? Do you try and just go toe to toe with Kenzie, or do you try and bust open the kind of tunnel area and really get behind them, squeeze them?
I think it purely depends on how Nookie and Walters feel. Alright, like Flippy always says, like when he played in French teams, if Flippy thinks he will hit shots, they'll let Flippy snipe, because it's harder to go sniper when you're not as you know what I mean, if you're having like a bad day, or it's just not happening for you today. It's a lot harder than to be put up against someone like Kenzie, who we have seen so far as having a very good day. It's just going to affect your confidence, I think, and your team's confidence as a result. But I think if Walters and Nookie feel like they're hitting the shots, I don't see why not, you know? They're of the same caliber.
Absolutely. It's going to be an interesting one as well. I don't think either of these teams really have a lot of structure or cohesion to how they play. I think Animate win that one just by an edge, but when you don't have a lot of structure, then the kind of wild, chaotic play that Serpents are kind of famous for and have been showing recently can easily overwhelm you. You need a lot of structure in order to try and counter that wild aggression coming in. So it may just come out down to an insane DM fest. We might just be casting a ridiculous deathmatch server, especially on Viaduct, where the spawns are coming in all of the time. There's no slowdown between the rounds. It might just be a matter of who can hit the shots and who goes huge on the night.
Yeah, at that point, obviously, we will stop attempting to cast and just make loud noises when airshots and stuff happen. We'll just give up with, you know, structure to our words.
I'll scream every time there's a headshot. You scream every time there's an air shot. If there's an air headshot, we synchronize the scream.
Yeah, okay.
It's going to be an interesting one. Thankfully, we're not going to be tired out by that right at the beginning. We are going to be going to Gullywash first. They've just switched servers from the one that we were expecting them to be on, so we're just connecting to the STV now. Both of these teams should be sidling in. Hopefully they haven't gone live or anything silly like that without us. But
I've got Forsaken's waiting for us.
Forsaken's on a leash. CommanderX is holding him back. So, what do you think specifically about Gullywash then? Are you pegging that as an Animate victory?
Yeah, as long as we'll find out pretty soon on. I think the mids can be quite important because obviously there's one thing Animate absorbing the aggression in sort of a stalemate scenario, but if they're just going to get rolled at mids, they're not going to be in a great position for that stalemate scenario. It's much more comfortable. I think they'll be much more comfortable on 2 to 3. And at that point, I think Serpents will fail a lot of pushes, but if they're rolled back to last, they're already on the back foot, so I think it really depends how the mids go, and I think it'll be really important for the flank of Animate to make something happen on those mids, for Nookie, Walters and Nation to really have an impact and stop it just being a roll and give Animate a chance to grab it, to get a footing in the game, because if they can get a footing, I think Serpents will be their own worst enemy.
Yeah, and I think from what we saw of the Animate versus TLR PCW that they have just come off the back of going into this, it was one where Animate have certainly got a lot of morale coming off the back of that. People still kind of judge TLR as like being a top 3, top 4 team, and so for Animate to beat them, I think they'll be feeling very invigorated from that performance. They'll be feeling like they played very well, and they'll be approaching the game in the kind of mindset where they just are going to be utterly confident in their ability to smash Serpents. I think that'll help them a lot on the mid fights as well. If they can try and shut people down as they're coming towards them and not be afraid to take the fights with some of the Serpents players, then they could get in a great position to take the first map.
We've got an STV as well.
Isn't that lovely? I do love watching the game that I'm supposed to be commentating.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise it's just going to be an hour of theorizing while we look at live log updates.
Yeah, I mean, we could potentially do that. I don't think it's ever been done before. A cast from a text version of TF2.
Like a teletext cast.
Wow, that would be incredible if we were able to pull that off in any way.
What's that show called? A Gillette Soccer Saturday. Well, you don't actually get to see any football, but you get to hear people talk about scores of football.
That would be incredibly entertaining, I'm sure.
Gillette TF2 Tuesday.
A brilliant idea.
I'll write up a proposal right now.
Yeah, we'll pitch it to Gillette. We'll see what they say.
Does anyone have a contact email in chat? If anyone in chat works for Gillette right now, if you could just private message me or add me on Steam, and we'll get this set up.
That'd be very helpful. I mean, we're really pushing the boundaries of competitive TF2 there. Let's see. These teams are trickling onto the server now. Both teams have got 5 players on their sides respectively, just warming up in the DM of Gullywash here, and we're waiting for Shadowburn from Serpents and Natural from the Animate team. Let's see if I can prod you for some kind of prediction for a map score here. Are we going to be seeing something very fast-paced, lots of back and forth rounds, or are they just going to be failing pushes, making mistakes again and again, and it ends up being really low scoring?
I think it's going to be back and forth and low scoring. I'm going to go 3-2 to Animate.
I'm going to go for every round being taken off the back of a mid-fight, and it's going to be something crazy like 6-4 to Animate. It's I reckon we're going to be seeing a lot of rounds here. The snipers are already warming up. We've got 4 on each, 2 on each side, 4 on the server, but Kenzie's trying to get some DM in on Scout after the poor performance on Gullywash earlier today. What do you think about the Serpents team in general? Do you think it's an improvement over the previous roster that they've been using for Season 22?
I think it's kind of either here nor there. I think eventually it will be better because the caliber of players are better, but I think there's going to be a couple of transitional weeks, maybe this week and next week, where everyone kind of finds their form and they find their sort of synergy as a team again. But ultimately it will be stronger, but maybe not yet.
Yeah, they'll try and get into the groove of it. They do have well, all the rest of their fixtures actually are much easier than the ones they've had previously. This is the start of a much easier spree for Serpents. Having faced Epsilon and Reason, they'll be looking for a win here to take them forwards and maybe gather some momentum, see if they can take some points off TLR and maybe Full Tilt, teams like that are somewhere near the top but not quite the same caliber as Epsilon and Reason. But if they lose to Animate here, then they may just end up being the punching bag of Season 22. Maybe trying to contest that title with dogs, I suppose.
I've also just remembered Fragmented plays for Animate.
True, he does, yes.
I really like Fragmented. He's a really nice guy. But I think he could be exposed a lot in this game.
Yeah, I think...
Kenzie on Sniper, Shadowburn on Roma, Forsake, you know...
Yeah, they have a lot of classes that are going to be targeting the medic at all times, trying to just take him out of the fight completely. Natural's going to have his work cut out for him, but then Natural is that kind of pocket that will just completely live up to that role. He's a very... he to play on a very leash, I guess, to the medic. He's not one of the pockets that's going to be playing very loose. He likes to make sure that Fragmented's well defended. It's just that Fragmented's movement isn't the greatest in Prem at the moment. But we've gone live, CommanderX. This is the first map between Serpents and Animate, and we're on CP Gullywash. You want to take us to the first mid?
Kenzie is Sniper on mid as the rollout as blue right now. The Russian coming through that big door. Want to take their own side. Kenzie gets us out straight away, and that's going to open us up. And Animate looks so timid. Does Soldier Up drop down as well, and that's going to kill Fragmented. Shadowburn's doing so much damage. GDK's walking across. He's going to finish them all off.
Oh my god.
And White Glow even gets a saw on Nation right at the end. And this is exactly what I talked about. Animate now have no footing to do anything but barrel themselves in on last.
Yeah, and that flank from Shadowburn as he went up the drop down did so much damage. Fragmented went down. They were in a disastrous position right from the off. And they were so scared of Kenzie as well. They didn't want to get anywhere near the sniper sight line. And that just penned them all into a corner where it was just too easy for the rest of the Serpents team to pick people off. Nation with... the worst movement I've ever seen, accidentally falls off the pipe straight into the path of Kenzie, takes down the sniper, so that'll help them out. But now it's Nation's job to try and deny the Uber a little bit that's coming in. He's completely messed this up a little bit, but he's just going to hop and try and blast people back. In the meantime, Natural's traded with GDK, and it looks like a successful hold, despite the craziest pyro play I've ever seen from Nation.
It made no sense, but it was very effective.
Yeah.
And yeah, like Unhuman with the Uber, and he just couldn't get it. But they do lose Nookie as they're trying to move out right now. Fragmented's nearly got that Uber, so they might choose to go anyway. Shadowburn is threatening a back cap though, and he should win this duel. He is going to win the duel with Nation, but he's super low and he will get out. And they're just picking these players off, and that's just going to delay the push. And look how close White Glow is to Uber, so there won't even be a push.
Yeah, they're definitely.
Yeah, sorry.
There definitely should have been somebody building with Fragmented though, because he should have had such a bigger Uber advantage than that. He only had a 15% Uber advantage towards the end of this, and White Glow has used 2 Ubers in the time it's taken Fragmented to get a single one. And Kenzie's just going to snipe Nation, and that's going to give him so much more room as well. He's going to be able to peek from this riverside angle, see if he can get onto anything.
No one's close to river.
No, they really want a better pick than that to open things up, and they know that with only Nation going to be really pressuring the sniper, they can afford to wait. Oh, Natural nearly poking himself into a sight line again. And they're pinning everybody back into the same corner. Oh, but there's Nookie! Nookie with the counter snipe and instantly switches back to Scout.
Yeah, Natural having a bit of peek in top lobby. Feels like he wants to go. But there's these players on Riverside now, just a constant thorn in the side of Animate. And it's really just hindering their push out. Looks like Walters is going to try and make a move. He's trapped him though. He's going to go down. We're interested to see if they want to go off that pick. Kenzie's going to respawn on Sniper though. But it looks like they want to take the trade. Soldiers are going to butt heads at this shutter door. Good damage from Natural though. He's going to pick off Unhuman. Forsaken's going for the point. He's trying to bait people back there. But he's
baited everyone into GDK as well. But GDK gets the frag. Nice pipe from Ryder, and now it's a 1v1, and GDK's won that one. He's on the point. He's taken down Fragmented as well, and just caps it off. I thought that was going to be disastrous there, because as Forsaken backed off, GDK was coming out of water, so all the attention was focused on that little avenue that GDK was trying to play. But somehow he makes it work, just dancing around with his stickies, and 1-0 to score to Serpents already. Kenzie, sniper to the mid once again.
He's moving in big door, he's charging it up, he's looking for that opening shot. No one's going to show themselves from Animate this time though. And it's actually Forsaken who goes down first, and there's a scout straight on Kenzie. That's going to be all shoot. No!
No way! No way! Does Kenzie get that frag with the Shahansha? No way!
GDK's picked up Ryder at choke, and they might re-push this, and Human's coming around to meet up with heals. Whiteglow's going to walk into a soldier, Natural's going to pick them both up. He's down to 12 HP. Kenzie is still trying to scope in. He's only on 40 hit points, but he's got a scout with him, and it looks like they want to try and make something work on this middle, or at least just get Kenzie some more room.
Yeah, Kenzie's just moved up all the way through that elbow area, straight into his own choke, just trying to pick off a 12 HP Natural that he knew was hanging around there somewhere, but he just could not find an angle on him anywhere. Natural staying perfectly still, knows that Kenzie's vision is based on movement.
Yeah, much like a T-Rex Kenzie. I think if you're perfectly still and he can't detect you. And now we see Nation just holding close on big door because they're trying to get an angle for Kenzie, but again Nation's got no real support on this, and Kenzie's going to pick off Nookie. Nation now spams him back, but again Nation needs help.
And let's see.
And Shadowburn's in behind on Fragmented.
Oh my god!
He's going to kill him.
Nobody
wow.
watching the drop down area, and Fragmented goes down, and that's huge for Serpents because now they don't even need the sniper to make things work here. And they found the frag on Nation with none of the scouts helping him on that area. Oh, and Nookie's desperately rolling out here as sniper. He's trying to make something happen. He's trying to find a pick on the Whiteglow or something. He just wants any kind of frag, but Kenzie's found the head, and this is all going so well for Serpents. They're just finding all the holes in Animate instead of the other way round.
Forsaken's walking through lower, but he was looking the wrong way, and Ryder's just sticking it above him. He's going to pick his medic. A blunder from Forsaken allows the medic to get picked. GDK goes down, and they've got no cap time on this too. It's surely going to be over before it even really started. Forsaken's still trying to trade damage, but he gets people weak. He can't finish them. Kenzie is on 5 HP.
They've got so many people on this second point, they're not going to be able to block it, I don't think. Oh, and Human can't quite find the frag, and Kenzie isn't going to be able to pick off anybody's head. I thought that Unhuman would be able to bait them into the Kenzie sniper sight line there with Shadowburn helping from up top, but they nicely focused Shadowburn and then nicely focused on Human as well, and Kenzie couldn't quite rattle off a headshot to make the fight go their way.
Shadowburn's currently on water in last after going through big door, and GDK's in! He's trying to steal the cap because Shadowburn's on last! He kills Walters, but there's too many Animate players around. Risky play from GDK, but I like the idea.
It's an insane play. He's going in 1 versus 5 and trying to steal the cap out from under their noses.
These Rovers are lost.
It speaks volumes about his confidence, doesn't it, that he thinks he can get away with that.
Like, that would have been absolutely genius. And now they actually get, look at all these pigs they get as Animate try and come in. Ryder just goes way too far. Now Natural's struggling to shotgun down on Human, swaps to Rockets, but this is going to allow them just to walk back in, but Natural's behind them. But he's just going to have to wait for someone to pick, but I think GDK knows. I think GDK wants to one-on-one him. Here we go for it, and GDK wins for one-on-one for the second time in a row right now. Natural and GDK have found themselves in that sort of one-on-one situation, and GDK's on top both times.
Natural and the rest of his team are going to be on last in just a few seconds, trying to set up that defense. Walters this time on the Pyro, and they're going to be trying to hold off the Uber charge coming in from Whiteglow. It looks like they're moving into upper lobby, taking it a little bit slower. Oh, that's interesting. They've actually put Forsaken on scout after Kenzie's been on sniper for an extended period of time, and he's going to be leading in the Uber from the top right-hand side now. Doesn't find any frags, but instantly drops the point. GDK sticking it off as well. The sticks have actually been dead here by Ryder. That means that the point is completely open. Natural trying to get as much damage out, but oh, and there's Fragmented down as well. This is destruction here from the Russians.
It's clever. They kind of realise Unhuman's DM is still a bit rusty. And they swapped Forsaken to Scout, literally to take him in with that Uber, just so he can trash them. Or maybe not, he's staying on Scout right now, so they're just mixing the classes up here. So many multi-talented people. Shadowburn goes in early, super big on this middle. And Animate are stuck on the low ground. Nation's trying to fight his way back up, but he's pinned back. There's someone coming drop down though. Natural's going to get 2 from drop down, and he might have busted this mid wide open for Animate right now. Shadowburn's
another frag.
Huge shot.
He's gonna. Oh,
oh
no! I thought Natural could potentially get the fourth there, but now it's in a weird 2v2 with the sniper. Oh, he's almost getting a sniper line onto Fragmented as well, but Ryder actually picks that up. I don't think they know where Kenzie is or where he's sniping from, so they're actually leaving. They're leaving there when they had a 2v1 with a demo and a medic versus a sniper because they are so scared of Kenzie just getting the crazy headshot. But Nookie now is going to try and get aggressive now that he knows where the sniper is. Yeah, he finds the frag as well, but he's really caught in now. Fragmented and Ryder are actually in on the mid-fight. What a play. Ryder's going to be able to pick up White Glow, and now they've sandwiched in all the Serpents players on the mid. What a play. That was fantastic.
He's hiding above Big Door. Fragmenter's going to walk through. Nobody's looking up. Nobody's looking up. He doesn't get the second rocket off in time.
The 180 flick rocket by Natural and saves his medic in the nick of time. Oh, after such a great patient play from Shadowburn as well.
Yeah, it was perfect as well. No one checks, but Natural's reactions were on point. And he's going to save his medic's life and maintain that Uber advantage that they earned from that middle to take into last.
So now Fragmented holding in that big door area is going to be coming into lower with both of his scouts and Natural. They're thinking about where to take this. They're going to have to pop it early because Kenzie is still on sniper, so in they come from this main entrance. Both of the scouts are going to instantly focus down White Glow, but Nookie just cannot hit the shots. 9 HP actually was White Glow as he got back into the spawn there, but Forsaken and GDK are now just kind of on that point area. Everyone's dropping down to the point from Serpents, and this is perfect from Animate. They're going to be able to clean up all of these frags, and GDK not going to be able to save that round. But I feel like they completely messed that up, actually, Animate. And then the Serpents just threw by all going to point. GDK had it under wraps. There was no need for them to all be baited down to the point there.
We saw that push from Serpents as well. Like when they tried to come in and re-challenge from mid and they just threw everyone away. And Animate just minced them up. As we go into this next MIG, both scouts on the point straight away for Animate. And GDK will go down. Good soldier pressure, but they're focusing down Ryder. They can't get up the nip side. And Fragmented super weak underneath, and there's no heals on these players on the point for Animate, and they're just going to get picked off. Natural was the only one with any heals, and he's going to get picked off. There's a scout still trying to dance around White Glow's head, but Nookie's not got enough load to take him down, and now Serpents storm this mid.
Yeah, they are still in control 2-1, and now they have an Uber advantage to push last with Animate in that old familiar position of having to defend with an Uber disadvantage, and they haven't really been able to make it work. They had some success. Nation's actually going to combine with Walters to get the frag on Kenzie and the Force when they've got nobody in position to take it into last either. Forsaken may get baited in really hard here. No, he's actually going to just open the door for Shadowburn.
Wow, he misses the last rocket, and Fragmented will survive on 50 hit points. And now, surely Animate can just heal up and go. But Forsaken again, just trying to see if he can get a cheeky rocket onto Fragmented to make him drop. And they're just going to keep trying to build it up. Looks like they want to hold top here, pretty far back from the Russians. And GDK's actually one-on-one in a scout lower, but that scout's too far forward. He's going to go down to Unhuman. And again, Animate bleed people before they push out. They're just, like, the flank from Animate are just going too fast and just getting forced back. And now Shadowburn's distracting him on Riverside. And every second just brings White Glow closer and closer to that Uber. And they've got Kenzie on Sniper. They're just going to have to cancel on this push.
Absolutely. I think it's also interesting to note that every time that Nookie and Walters are going toe-to-toe with the scouts, or even soldiers, and, you know, just generally going toe-to-toe with the players from Serpents, they're about 50-50, and I really expected Nookie and Walters to be outperforming on Human and Kenzie when they're on those scout roles, maybe even Forsaken, but they're really not stepping up where their team needs them, and it looks like they might just be engineering the soldiers in for a force play actually here. They're really not trying to push Kenzie into any kind of offensive... Oh, now here he comes actually. Kenzie's going to be peeking that Riverside area, but spots Nookie, and now it's just going to be going backwards. They're just trying to work an angle.
It's a game of cat and mouse now. Shadowburn actually gets Nation. Kenzie's scoping up from main. He can't find anyone. There's no one in his sightline at all. Fragmented knows he's going to be there, but Walters jumps across, gets picked out of the air, and that's surely enough of an advantage for them to go on those two picks. Forsaken goes in. I thought they were just sacking Forsaken, but they Uber in. They do trade Ubers. And now Shadowburn's behind the soldier. He's gone forward in lobby. He should be able to clean him up, but he's done so much damage to Shadowburn, it won't make any difference. And there's a scout on the... No GDK on the point, even. And White Glow should be able to get out through all this chaos. Maybe they see him, he just kills himself. He sees too many Animate players, hits the kill bind, takes the faster spawn. It's still 16 seconds though, and it will be the far back one. And now we see Kenzie on Sniper still scoping up at Big Door. They hear that shot ring out. The Animate players are coming in from all angles. Shadowburn's jumping back. He's going to kill Fragmented as he comes through the choke. And
that's so poor. They should have been able to get players forward to pressure him out before Fragmented actually crossed the Sniper sideline, because that was theirs. Mid was theirs.
And then Nookie overextends as well. Ryder's going to get caught out. There's a soldier aggressive. He surfs out, but he should get picked off as well. But Nation's come in and got White Glow. Kenzie will clean him up. Absolute chaos here. Neither team can keep their medic up. And now Shadowburn's already fighting 5 scouts in lobby of CP2. They've not even finished capping mid yet. And are they going to try and take this fight 4v4 with no heals? No, it's just Kenzie and Inhuman guarding him.
Look at the amount of space Kenzie is getting for his team. He literally shut off the entirety of lower lobby there and forced the entirety of Animate to rotate all the way through Riverside to try and block this from the top area, even though there was only him in on second. They are so afraid of giving a frag to Kenzie that they're giving up all the positional advantage for it completely. Oh, they're going to take this fight in the choke point though. They're going to lock everybody out. GDK, the last one, really in on 30 health. Won't be able to find anybody, and there's only 3 now left alive, and with no Kenzie this should really step up the pace here from Animate. They want to be flooding forward, trying to get things, trying to get the point at the very least, and now it becomes a matter of keep Fragmented alive now that Kenzie's on the board. Oh, he's respawned as Scout though, interesting.
They got Uber disadvantage. It's only 20%, so I guess they just want to take the fight as it is. The Animate already through Big Door all over CP2. They're going to Uber into the lobby. GDK is trapped. Yep, there we go. He's definitely trapped. Ryder will take him down. And White Glow's going to go down. Nation with the huge plays, taking out the combo. And this is surely going to allow Animate to equalise. There's fighting still going on in the lobby, but it's not coming out in favour of them. There's already a soldier on last. Kenzie's going to try and do his best. And they lose it right there. Great aggressive push from Natural and Ryder to pick off those players in lobby, catching all of Serpents out.
And I think it does show that Animate, as soon as they don't give any respect to Serpents, are in the driving seat. They are a better team. They've got the ability, a little bit better team cohesion, but they're so scared of Kenzie that they're actually just giving up so much position and allowing all the room. Look at Shadowburn up through the drop down. He's actually going to get found by Nation and back down there onto the bottom of mid. Kenzie's being well defended by the rest of his team. Shadowburn can't quite find that frag. The air shot there onto Fragmented, and Natural and Nation have done a very good job of stunting all of the aggressive attempts of Serpents there, and they've got control of the mid. But Kenzie's still alive and still going to be watching this choke and Big Door angle.
Ryder goes first. He looks like he's waiting for the medic. They're all going to come through at the same time, try and just force him out, and they do force Kenzie out. And they've got so much ground on CP2 here, they'll surely be able to take this without using their Uber. I mean, Shadowburn is hiding up top. He's shown himself now, but they're actually going to Uber out. Risky here. They're going to chase these players. They're going to get one soldier frag, but they've not yet caused Fragmented to pop because he hadn't actually built it up in time yet. So Fragmented's now have a huge Uber advantage, just gifted to him by the Russians. Natural's going to come flooding through that door. He wants to take it through the shutter. They're going to Uber through. Natural's looking for frags. He's on to White Glow. Doesn't need that frag and won't get it either. GDK does go down to a scout, but now they're surrounded right now, the Animate players. A scout comes out to spawn. Natural's actually baits White Glow onto stickies. And now it's 3 versus 3, but heals are in favour of Animate, and Shadowburn's pressuring him out.
Oh my god, Nation's just going to play straight onto the point, and he's got the pain train! Oh, what a play by Nation! Black Box Pain Train, he absolutely... Because he just respawned there. That was all just a premeditated play for the point at the end. That was actually a really sick play by Nation. He got picked off in the fight just before the last push, and thinks, how best can I contribute to, like, the end of a last point fight, you know? If my team haven't already got that, then I want to be able to play the point and I want to be able to do damage once people are down. Great play by Nation, and he's brought his team to the 3-2, looking for Forsaken and Shadowburn though. They're in onto Fragmented, heals down, 3v4 here, and Walters and Natural have got a huge job to do. I don't think they know where Natural is though.
He fluffed his drop up jump down, they might have heard that. No, they haven't.
None of them are looking at him, but who's he going to... Oh, there we go. They did find him there. They do possess ears, and Fragmented's going to have about a 15% Uber advantage, but they have lost mid, and they may lose second off the back of this unless they have a very aggressive defense, which they should do. They should be trying to contest second here. Oh, but Shadowburn! Oh my god, Shadowburn just sat up on the upper area, is going to be able to pick off Fragmented, and he's going in behind them, just drawing players back. And now with the heal disadvantage, there's nothing Animate can do, they just have to back off here. Wait, what?
Look at their health. There's 4 versus 5, so they don't fancy it, but Ryder and Walters are so low, like less than 20 HP between them. But the Russians are just going to play it safe.
Yeah, a little too safe, I think.
Before.
Yeah, I think that one was a little too safe as well. They were reluctant to take a fight when they had all the heals, all the buffs. There must have been about a 400, 500 health advantage there for them. But because they were one player down, they didn't want to take second for free. I think a big misplay from the Russians there, and now they've given themselves an opportunity. Yeah, only a 20% advantage after the end of that.
Yeah, so they're going to go with it anyway, but I think the Russians might, they're going to think they've got more of an advantage than they do in fact have. Fragmented's now only 20% away, and they're taking their time with this push, time that they don't really have. I mean, White Glow's not used, so it won't be too bad, but it looks like Natural wants to come out and block right now, as they all try and spam. They're going to Uber out, but Natural gets juggled so far away from the point, they're not actually blocking the cap. The Scout's running behind, trying to run behind to last, they do block him in though. And this is actually Animate have made this really messy, and that might actually work in their favour. But White Glow's got a saw on Natural after he kills Forsaken.
Two saws, in fact.
GDK's just going forward though. He's done so much damage to Ryder, but he's going to get healed back up by his medic. Meanwhile, they're pressuring the flank still. Unhuman trying to threaten them on Riverside again, and that threat on Riverside has been constant from the Russians, and it's just in the back of Animate's minds all the time that they can't. They're too cautious to overextend because they don't want to lose to a back cap.
And these two Uber saws are now going to come in so importantly because White Glow has the full Uber, Fragmented only on 60, well 70% now, and then moving into upper lobby they have another 10 seconds to push before Fragmented gets it. They need to deal with this Pyro very quickly, and GDK does. Now they're coming in from that right hand side, they need to flood onto people, deal with things one at a time. First the Pyro, then the Sentry, but Kenzie and GDK fall to Ryder and Nucky, and a lot of damage being done here by the Animate team. They've got their Uber charge as well, and Forsaken surely going to get taken out. He does fall, and that was a fail push if ever I've seen one. They weren't able to get in quickly enough. They weren't anticipating the Pyro or the Sentry there, and weren't able to get onto people before Fragmented had the Uber charge.
Yeah, they're going to get 4 forward spawns, including Kenzie on Sniper, and it does seem to go better for the Russians when Kenzie's on Sniper, but there's a soldier on him already, forcing him back. He's going to take the shot at Fragmented, but misses it, hits Walters though with his next attempt. Natural goes down as well. Kenzie will get picked off, but they're extending really hard into choke to try and get these frags. Both Scouts, Forsaken and Unhuman, coming barreling through. Ryder's desperately trying to put as many stickies as he can through, but he turns his back, and Unhuman comes through. Ryder's just got to run away right now. He's going to meet up with his medic, but they're at a disadvantage, and the Russians are just going to take this forward. Both Scouts just barreling forward, trying to find an overextending player. Ryder's jumped out top, separate from the heals, though. And now the Russians can start getting on point. Kenzie kills himself. Classic.
Kenzie changing class when he's outside of the spawn door and manages to kill himself. GG, well played.
Oh
no, he didn't. No, he killed himself. He killed himself because there was 3 Scouts. Oh god, yeah, he was trying to change class, or like stop the team from getting a minor warning or whatever because he accidentally walked out of spawn. That's the problem when you're switching classes around all the time, I guess. There's the potential for that to happen, and they couldn't really push off that. But Animate are going to be the ones trying to push out here. Walters and Ryder taking the Uber charge forward. There goes GDK, and that's really going to open things up. None of the players playing for a back cap either, but Nucky and Natural so far away.
Wow, a big body shot rings out onto Ryder as well. It's going to make it really hard for them. Shadowburn's coming in high as well. He's going to get 1 rocket. He's going to surf it away, but he sets up so many kills. I don't think Fragment is going to get out here, actually. He somehow gets out. The Scouts are trying to run through, but Walters just kills everyone as they try and come through that door. Huge play from Walters, meat after meat after meat. And he's opened this up perfectly for his team. And GDK is going to squeeze away on actually kills Nation with a long-range sticky on 2 HP.
Yeah, that was crazy. He just 1v1 Nation at choke and then manages to slink away from the pistol of Walters. It seems like the Serpents have absolutely no plan as soon as they have to push last. I mean, they just... every plan goes out of the window. I think they're a team that really does transitional plays fairly well because they can make it... Man, oh, what is going on? Natural and Nucky both downers. I'm talking about absolute waffle. And Kenzie just picks up the sniper rifle and tells me to bugger off because they're going for another last push.
Yeah, they've got a major Uber disadvantage. I don't know if they're going to want to block this. Nation's leading it out through lower. They're going to Uber through. I don't know if anyone's blocking the point though. Ryder swaps direction to block the point. While Nation tries to go really deep onto White Glow, but Forsaken kills him with shotgun. And GDK is going to pick up Fragmented because he was so committed after that fight. Kenzie's still hitting head. He will eventually get taken down by Nookie, but Nookie's now stranded on this CP2. But he might just be able to waste enough time here. As GDK wants to fight him while Forsaken wants to go forward. He's now just going to start the cap. They're going to have to go back from now. Everyone arrives. They will take him down. And they're going to have pretty much 6 up, full Uber advantage when they want to take this in. Nookie's still got 10 seconds left on his spawn. And it looks like they want to go straight through top right. Forsaken taking a solo charge in versus a Pyro. Confident, he's got shotgun out though. He will take him out, but it's wasted about 70% of his charge. They come flying forward, force Animate back into spawn. GDK is going to try and jump back out. They're all fighting, and Ryder's just holding the point by himself, sticking it off, denying it all, and the Russians can't quite find the frags as of yet. As they all rush the point right now, Shadowburn's on top, he's got so much damage. The scouts come out on top.
Unbelievable amounts of damage by Shadowburn at the end there, but the spawn from, I think it was Nookie, it could have been Walters, but either way, they both just combined together on the point and just squeezed that defense out. I mean, that could have gone either way. It was just a battle of DM there right at the end, just trying to flood everybody onto the point and then clean people up, and that's about the 3rd or maybe even 4th failed last push here from Serpents. They haven't quite been able to crack. It's not even a great defense. Honestly, it's very simple stuff. It's just a pyro and it's just them playing back in spawn, but Serpents do not have a plan to deal with it whatsoever. Maybe they just need to slow it completely down and wait for Kenzie to get like a demo pick or a medic pick before they push.
Someone needs to go water. Like, Ryder just held the point for so long. The reason it just became a chaotic DM fight after the Uber is because no one forced Animate to compromise their position. So they were just able to take the DM fight on their own terms, and Walters and Nookie came out trumps. But Kenzie's opened up a window for them, but they're pushing him with Uber disadvantage. Fragmented's about to get this, and this could be catastrophic for the Russians. They're trying to get out, but there's a scout behind. Walters going to get one, he's going to get brought into the Uber. They're going to clean it up. There are players behind, and Hubert's hiding. He's going to drop off a medic, 1 mid shot, but he can't kill him, and Natural's going to clean him up. Shadowburn's just going to get out of there as well, and try and just help protect Kenzie, see if he can get the pick they need. He's going to headshot a soldier, but he's going to headshot the medic and body shot the soldier again. Sets up that frag for Forsaken. GTK is now coming in with White Glow at choke, but Nookie's picked up the 2 soldiers. And now Natural's all over GDK, but he's got a body shot from Kenzie. Kenzie with loads of big shots in that to save that fight for them. And that might just have opened up CP2 and perhaps even last as well.
It's so difficult when you're Animate in this situation because they're managing to defend last, they're trying to go for a structured push onto second, and they're just coming up against the sniper every time, and it has to slow them down. But they're in the lead, like they don't need to be trying to push these advantages so far forwards. They just need to take things very slowly, one at a time, make sure that they have the sniper sight lines completely locked down, Kenzie's out of there, before they start moving these things forwards. But instead they're trying to rush stuff, they're opening it up, they're making it sloppy, and Kenzie's just absolutely taking advantage of that every time, and he's pinned Natural in a corner now.
Nation's come to try and help him out, get him out of there. And they've got the setup, but they've had the same setup pretty much the whole time. Forsaken gets dropped in the Uber though as they come forward with Shadowburn. Now Shadowburn's trapped in, pinned in by the sentry. This is terrible from the Russian. They've not killed the sentry, they've not killed anything. GDK goes down, Forsaken goes down.
Walters gets the 2nd frag on Pyro as well, and sets the Scout of Unhuman on fire, and there's only 2 of them alive with a respawning of Forsaken right now, and they're trying to get onto second. This could be a successful push out, a build of momentum perhaps, but yeah, Unhuman are unable to get that frag onto anybody, and they're going to try and get things sorted, but they're just going to have to slow things down, I think. The timer is going to start coming into it right about now. There's 2 minutes left on the map. 2 minutes. And Animator in control, 3-2. So they need to take at least another minute off the clock here. Maybe another minute 30 before they can be in the safe zone.
Shadowburn was hanging around drop down as well, but they're actually pushing through there, so Shadowburn has to get out. He blocks the soldier though, goes for the big air shot, and he will actually get dropped there with Uber, Natural and Nation both go down. Ryder's now completely separated from the heels as well. Fragmenter's just trying to run out lower, but GDK's all over him. Ryder's trapped in, and it's just GDK versus a scout. Complete chaos, complete just DM fights again, and Animate come out on top.
But then they of course should come out on top because they were pushing in Uber v non-Uber. So in actual fact, they completely messed that up and dribbled all over themselves. They took an Uber in from the low ground.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Walters and Nucky trading with Shadowburn, but Shadowburn and Kenzie just man-moding it here. And I mean, the Russians, if anyone's going to be able to take this in 1 minute left as well, only a minute left here, CommanderX, and after that completely messy fight, Animate are going to be hard-pressed to hold on to their 3-2. They're so close to their own last.
Oh wow, Forsaken comes in, but he gets absolutely minced. They're going in one at a time, and Human goes through now. He can't finish the Soldier. They're just gifting this to Animate right now. The Scout's super low, Walter's on 1 HP and dropped down, but he's just pulling him out of position. Nucky's coming from the other two. The Russians have to go forward. The time's against them. They pick off a low HP Walters. Nucky's trying to go in as well. The Scout's perhaps throwing it for them, but they have 30 seconds left, and this Uber's going to slow them down. It might be impossible. Are they coming through the door? They're just trying to run through. Kenzie goes down. Fragmented drops!
There's 20 seconds left. If they absolutely stack both of these points, they can still get it here. They're fragmented down, and Walters is dead. Nation's down. They're going to be able to get this point, this second point. There's 9 seconds left, 8 seconds left. They're going to be trying to flood onto the point. Forsaken is coming in onto it. Ryder's trying to defend as much as he can. Only 3 seconds left. Shadowburn jumps, but that's all she wrote. 3-2. CommanderX couldn't be closer. It absolutely was, yeah, and it was so back and forward. In fact, you pinned it perfectly there. It was incredibly back and forward, incredibly messy. I'm so devastated, actually, that Serpents couldn't just push in through a choke point with all 6 people instead of going in one at a time and bleeding 3 players. I mean, we called it in the pre-game what we were talking about. Can Animate hold on in those situations and just force Serpents to bleed? And they just about managed it. It was by the skin of their teeth, but they come away with a victory and all 3 points on the first map, Gullywash. Goodness me, that was chaos, but it was fun to watch.
Yeah, it was absolutely nuts. I don't think it was quite as clean as I thought it was going to be, you know? Like, I thought Animate would, be a bit more locked down rather than just coming out on top of these scrappy fights. But it works out either way. Yeah, really chaotic. But, yeah, I think Animate deserved it. Serpents failed way too many pushes to really, deserve a win off of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they failed a lot of the pushes. And I think one of the biggest reasons is that Serpents are going to be a team that flourishes in the sloppy, in the transition, in the pushes and the falling back. They're able to pick things off, they're able to flank, they're able to find 1v1s around the place. But whenever it came to them executing a push into Animate's defense, or trying to break a stalemate and push in, or even defending against an Animate push, they had to make it sloppy if they wanted to win it. They had to break it down into a really crazy fight if they wanted to find the 1v1s, find the frags, and stop Animate from coming out on top. Otherwise, they had no answer for... They just had no cohesion. They had no ability to string together a play off their own back. They just had to try and breed it off the merits of individual performance.
The downside of taking these messy fights against Animate as well is, with Nucky and Walters as the cleanup classes, you really have to nail these scrappy fights and win your 1v1s. And if we can see from the logs, it looked like GDK and Unhuman putting up pretty low numbers apiece. Like perhaps just showing their rustiness compared to like Shadowburn and Forsaken, just both top of the damage, with pretty good, decent KDs as well, considering their classes. If
you take a look at Unhuman, I mean, like you said, he's 15 for 23, and he's really the only scout that they really have like on the field consistently.
Yeah, 20 minutes of sniper from Kenzie.
Yeah, so they are playing most of the time with only one scout. I mean, Forsaken played 5 minutes of scout. Kenzie plays 9 minutes of scout. So Unhuman really doesn't have a scout partner and has to play the kind of pocket scout role. But he's just getting trashed on. He's getting eaten alive. If we take a look at the actual like who fragged who at the bottom there, Walters has 12 scout kills, and Nucky has 5. And given that they only really have one scout all of the time, like Walters and Nucky are just taking those 1v1s and just smashing people.
Look at the KDs from the scouts as well. Like 28 frags from Nucky, 32 from Walters, give or take 20 deaths apiece each.
Yeah.
Which everyone has high deaths just because of how chaotic that game was.
But I really feel like they weren't actually
kills.
getting into it at the beginning. Like at the beginning of the game, Walters and Nuki didn't seem to be having that much of an impact. But as it got later and later on, they were the ones more consistently alive at the end of the fights, taking the cleanup, getting the frags, and winning their team the cleanup DM fights.
What is interesting is the only person who doesn't seem to have a lot of deaths is Ryder.
And he played fairly well, actually. I was impressed by his performance.
Yeah, really just wasn't really caught off guard. Never looked exposed too much. You know, getting out of these situations when it became really chaotic, and just pumping out consistent damage at the same time as well. Not sacrifice. You know, still doing the damage while keeping yourself alive is really the key for Demo Man. And in that chaotic fight, in that sort of chaotic map, he was able to do that for the entirety.
I think a lot of the times where he was actually caught out was just because they'd pushed in and then suddenly someone gets dropped in the Uber charge, or Fragmented gets headshot or something like that, and then Ryder's caught out just as a virtue of his entire team being caught out. So I think actually he played a very good game. It'll be interesting to see what kind of an impact he has on Viaduct and how the whole two teams transition onto Viaduct. Is there anything about how they played on Gullywash that you think is going to be influential in this map?
I mean, Kenzie was hitting a lot of shots, so I think that's going to be the key, the obvious thing. And also, even when Nuki counter-sniped, like, Kenzie came out on top more times than not, even then. So, and I feel like Nuki might be suckered into just sort of like, what's the word? Like the ego challenge almost. You know what I mean? Just go in, oh, you think you're good at sniper, let me show you how it's done.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a big risk for Animate. And I think actually that they will do so much better if they just keep Nuki and Walters on Scout. But as you say, I really think they'll have to fight the temptation to just try and counter snipe. I don't think that's the answer here.
Yeah, I think if Animate keep Walters and Nuki on Scout, and they have Nation, and they just bust open the flank every time. We saw when we saw Serpents warm up, that's what like the Reason Mix did. They just crushed the flank, and like 2 or 3 players just ran behind straight away. It means Unhuman's going to be completely isolated, and it's hard if you're anyone, you know, but coming in rusty and then having to defend the flank by yourself against Nuki and Walters and Nation is going to be near impossible, because Shadowburn likes to play aggressive, likes to play behind, and it's just going to leave Shadowburn and Unhuman completely exposed if they keep stacking that flank.
And in terms of how they how Animate play with their soldiers, I think Nation and Natural are going to be hard pressed to keep up the kind of DM fragging abilities that we're seeing from the Russian combo here of Shadowburn and Forsaken. But Viaduct's much more of a map where the soldiers can sometimes play second fiddle to the rest of the classes. It'll be interesting to see how Shadowburn and Forsaken really use their DM, whether they decide to prioritize the heals onto those two and really try and make those the powerhouses, have the scouts just make room and then come in with the crushing hammer of Shadowburn and Forsaken. Maybe we'll see a conch play or two, CX.
Maybe we should see Forsaken on Scout. Like Serpents definitely have a lot of options, just with sort of multi-class ability of so many of their players. So it'll be interesting to see how they line up when they start off as well. I think they should probably still not run the sniper to mid, just because your flank is so vulnerable when you've not got a stable position, and it's not like Kenzie's awful at Scout either. But I don't know, Kenzie, he ran it to mid most times in their warm-up, so I imagine they're just going to sort of put their faith in that. It'll be interesting, I think, to see if Forsaken swaps to Scout to help the flank more, rather than staying on Soldier.
Yeah, I think that would be a smart play, really. Given that Forsaken can sometimes just come out with an absolute carry game on Scout and can just mince everything, especially at this level. I think switching him over to the Scout role, not for the mid-fight, I think you're perfectly right in that Kenzie should be playing Scout to the mid-fight. Animate are going to be expecting him to play Sniper to the mid, I think, and if they switch it up and run Kenzie on Scout and just have a cookie-cutter lineup, they might have a very good chance of dealing with some big aggression from Nation early on. And then in terms of how it's going to play throughout the map, I think they're probably going to be better at running Forsaken on Scout and just having Shadowburn on Soldier. I mean, Shadowburn has the DM to make it work, and I think honestly, I think Unhuman just really needs a scout partner to work with.
Yeah, no discredit to him, you know, coming into a Prem game against, you know, Walters and Nookie when not playing for a while is always going to be tough. Chat is going crazy right now because on ETF2L, Nico just joined the TLR roster. So there is so much hype that Herpy might get cut.
Wow. I actually left Ams's stream earlier, and after they lost 6-1 to Animate on Gullywash, and Herpy said, can you find a Merc for me for the next map? Because he didn't want to play anymore. And Ams just said, no.
Well, it looks like Ams might have found a long-term Merc right now.
Well. Herpy's left the roster as well.
Did he quit or did he get cut?
Tilt LR. Goodness me. Wow, all the drama happening right here. So I guess he may well have been cut actually, because he's not for performance things, but I think maybe they're having like a big attitude problem within the team. I think just from listening to Warren Ams's stream earlier today, they were really salty at each other. Kyler was like getting pretty annoyed at how the attitude of some of the rest of the team, and that'll be really interesting to see how they or whether they survive the rest of the season. From a top 3 team to a bottom 2 team.
How did they do it in one season?
TLR.
Yeah. It's like watching Leeds United. Champions League to Championship.
Well, the Leeds United of TF2. I'm sure they could put that on their profile somewhere and be proud of that.
We'll find a way to be proud of it, don't worry. Yeah.
But right now we're leaving the TLR drama and we're just waiting for these 2 teams to ready up here. We've got Animate versus Serpents. It's the second map, and it's King of the Hill Product it's called now. So let's get underway. Animate won the first map 3-2. It was very scrappy. Let's see what they pull out the bag. It's actually going to be Kenzie sniping to mid with Forsaken on the Soldier. Let's see if he can hit any ridiculous shots.
Yeah, it's just spam being traded right now. It looks like Nation's trying to get aggressive down that corridor side, but he's just going to get forced back and body shot as he tries to leave. Now Natural tries to go behind, but he's going to get focused down. And now with both their soldiers missing, there's going to be so much room for Kenzie. He can't find anyone yet. Animate have done a pretty good job of backing off. We're just going to concede all this ground. Shadowburn tries to go in super aggressive, but Walters was hiding, sneaking up behind him, and it's going to take him out as the only sort of consolation frag. And we see Nookie making the switch off to Sniper straight away. The bait was too tasty, and he could not resist.
He's gobbling it up.
Nookie versus Kenzie in this Sniper battle. And I imagine Animate probably aren't going to want to get too aggressive. They don't actually have the Uber yet, so they're just going to try and negotiate an angle for Nookie. See if they can crack it open, and Nookie does seem to be getting much more heal attention than Kenzie does right now, which will make it easier for him. Ryder's trying to walk in, but just gets directed time after time by Forsaken, but Nookie's going to land first blood, but now Fragile's Uber is forced by Forsaken, and it's or by Shadowburn even. It's going to be such a better Uber as the players try and go behind, and Forsaken is going to give chase. He can't clean up that soldier, though, and they find themselves fighting on 2 sides right now, and Nation just comes in and decimates them. Forsaken will get one, will get both. Shadowburn comes in to lend his hand, kills himself. Now Unhuman's trying to fight a 1 versus 2. He's got the scout pretty low, but he's low himself, and he's just going to run out of there. Will survive and be able to regroup with his team, but Animate should be able to get the point off this.
Yeah, just off the back of their superior spawns, everyone literally traded for the same class. Roma picked up the Sniper for both teams, then the Roma killed the Pocket for both teams, and then the Pocket went down for both teams, and it was just a complete trade with the superior spawns for Animate coming out. But when both teams are running a Sniper like this, and both of the team's snipers are playing so passive as they have been, just sat back behind the rest of their team completely, then whichever team is control of the point is going to be at such an advantage, because it's so difficult for the other team to get position. Ryder takes so much damage there. That must have been a body shot from Kenzie, and Shadowburn finishes him off. Nookie's so weak as well, and Forsaken surely going to pick up that frag, and now they have control of the mid, and it's going to be really difficult for Animate to get back in control if they continue playing with Nookie on Sniper, and especially if he's passively sniping like that.
I saw Shadowburn win a duel with Nation, like on the kill feed. Apparently it was an insane shot by Shadowburn, absolutely minced him. And now they're holding forward and Kenji's going to kill Nation. I hear another headshot as well. Shadowburn comes down, lands his rockets onto Fragmented. Fragmented will be denied his Uber. And now it's up for the remaining sort of beat up Animate players to make a play for White. Here comes the Soldier, denied completely, but the Demo jumps in as well. They're both going behind for the same health pack. Kenji's going to kill one before Ryder takes him down, but Ryder's weak. He'll get picked off, and they got the force, and that's all they really wanted from that play. They've equalised the Ubers now, Animate, and their scouts are trying to get aggressive, but a great rocket onto Nuki right there is going to force him back, but there's more and more players from Animate arriving. Nation's going to kill Unhuman. GDK's trying to spam it in, but the flank is getting crushed right now from Serpent. Walters and Nuki combined with a focus fire, and that's the threat we talked about beforehand.
Nuki's so deep though. Nuki's just barreled straight into last, trying to take some kind of insane fight. And there goes Natural as well. Walters is actually picking people off. Oh, no way! They push all the way into spawn and make it work? That's so crazy, and it's so bad that they are allowed to make that happen, because it's such an overextension from the team in control of the point.
And now Shadowburn's going super deep, trying to get onto someone. So's Forsaken, get Ryder, but nothing else. They're still holding his door so close. Shadowburn's going to kill two.
But they still don't have control of the point. They're literally forward holding. They're literally forward holding without the point there, and they managed to get the force out of Fragmented. But they still don't have the point.
It's crazy. 3 kills and a force. But now Animate are moving forward. But they have the worst spawn still. And a big air shot's going to deny Natural. Whoa. Shadowburn is hitting everything right now. Broken mouse, no problem.
And now Kenzie sniping literally from on top of the point. A big bomb in from Ryder. In comes Ryder and Natural actually bombing in together. Down goes White Glow instantly, and Fragmented has a 40% advantage. Nuki's taking a 1v1 here, and against Inhuman and GDK, he's just dancing around, but Inhuman is going to find the frag in the end. Only 30 seconds left on the clock though here, and Serpents have no medic. They need to be pushing in now, Animate. They absolutely need to be pushing in so urgently, but Forsaken! Oh, that was so well timed, so perfectly timed there onto Fragmented, but just could not land the second rocket.
And now they pick up on Human as well, and we're just bleeding people. It's up to Kenzie ready to make the shot, but Fragmented's just waiting. They've got numbers, so they can just go in, but GDK's coming from behind. He's picked up my man. He's picked up the scout. GDK's a one-man army right now. He's piped the scout once. He can't land the second one in. The Soldier comes in. Animate cannot let this point go, but they've lost 4 players. Nuki and Fragmented at an Uber charge versus everyone, but Russians probably don't need to try this hard. Nuki's down to 8 HP. Why isn't Fragmented helping him? He's gone to meet up with Nation, and they're coming back in as a team. I feel like there was a miscommunication between Nuki and Fragmented, and now they put the Uber on the point.
Yeah, Walter's going to be able to find the frag, but they're not going to be able to get anything done with the supercharge, and they know that they have the inferior spawns all the time. Oh my god! Oh, actually robbed of the air shot of the double there. But yeah, Shadowburn's just hitting everything here. He's slamming these fools.
They're walking in on point now, but Ryder's coming in, pumping out damage, but great pressure from Kenzie to force him back on Scout right now. Walters is going to go down. They're just going to get all over the cap, and Animate don't have the resources to take it back. Shadowburn is taking his game into his own hands right now.
And if they hadn't gone down so far at the beginning there, Animate, they would have been able to hold on to that, because they got it down to 20 seconds right at the end. Ryder just not quite getting into the game here. Getting picked off by Kenzie quite a few times, and he's going to be rolling out Sniper again to this next mid. So everything's going to be really slow, just waiting for Kenzie.
What? He's got all the way behind! And he's opened door for Nuki to get aggressive to GDK. Ryder and Walters just barreling across the
Shadows in behind.
Oh, they know it though. They know it though.
He had an opportunity to go for a bomb actually when everyone's eyes were turned, but instead he spammed a rocket, just playing it safe. And Fragmented is going to leave without being quadruple air shot. So he can thank his lucky stars for that one. He's going to have the Uber sat back, and they're running Nuki on Sniper again. Looks like their plan is actually just to run Nuki on Sniper whenever they have control of the point, which I don't mind as much. That's not too bad.
Yeah, we do see a Soldier hiding on China right now. Natural's maybe found space, and he's going to kill GDK as he comes in. Shadowburn's got behind. He's going to fight everyone he possibly can, but he won't get anyone. Forsaken, meanwhile, has made the switch up to Scout. They're trying to negotiate Kenzie a position. They have a player disadvantage, but they do have quick spawns, so that won't be for too long. And now it's up to Nuki and Kenzie. Whoever gets the first pick here could really open it up for their team. Nuki actually receives a headshot, but he was buffed as the Ubers are traded. And now they're going to try and chase down the flank right now. Actually, Animate just pull the reins in on that, just choose to hold defensively. I like that play. Their health is better right now, and they're just going to maintain that by staying defensive and buffed up.
Ryder just has to make sure that he's not headshot. Goodness me, he's incredibly weak there, and Kenzie was looking for a line. Nation finds the frag on Shadowburn on the flank, though, getting the better of that 1v1, and now he's in, but there's a headshot onto Ryder once again. Nation pummels them with tons of damage, but doesn't actually commit to it. Feel like he could have probably got a decent frag there, but in comes Natural, really committing this time. White Glow down to 40 health, but they're just not synced up. They're going in one at a time here, Nation and Natural. Doesn't matter, they managed to find the frag onto that sniper, and Nuki replies with one onto GDK as well.
Every shot is an air
It's unbelievable.
Shot. Like, the consistency is impeccable, and Nuki actually gets caught out now a little bit too far forward as Forsaken just takes him down. Shadowburn's taking that high ground on the rock, just spamming him back, forcing him back.
Me.
No
I dare you.
threat. As Nation writes in chat, fuck this Shadowburn guy.
He's just getting bossed around by him. But to be fair, Nation's actually doing a fairly decent job of it. Ryder is getting slammed here by Kenzie. Kenzie is just focusing down the demo man so hard, giving him consistent body shots, forcing him to pull back. But an Uber fight is being traded here on the point. Fragmented, not quite getting the better end of it, but they've got a lot of cap time here. They might be able to work out a really messy fight and end up coming out on top. White Glow's kicking around on 50 health, as is Forsaken. They've got control of the point though, and they really should have tried to pressure the frags first, but it doesn't matter. Nuki's just going to take the 2v1 against both of those scouts there. A great play by him as Walters goes aggressive and picks off Kenzie as well, neutralizes the sniper threat, and Fragmented now has a 50% Uber advantage. It's all looking good here in this round for Animate.
Yeah, it looks like the Russians are just going to go off Uber. I can't blame them. We do see more cookie cutter lineup right now. Kenzie is back on scout, and they just want to go aggressive. Forsaken's going to lead it in straight from one rock to the other, surfs it back perfectly and allows Shadowburn to get behind. And now the scouts are dealing with this threat on the flank. Nation's forced back, Ryder goes down, the Natural's going to go down as well on the flank. They're chasing Nation as well. Nation's super weak. Shadowburn kills him again. And they are just forced back. Nuki's still trying to hit headshots, but the rest of his team have just left him. Unhuman and Kenzie doing really well now, just neutralising the threat on the flank and allowing them to get the point back. But Animate only really need to make a successful push once, which means Serpent's going to have to defend 2,
what
3,
is
maybe 4
GDK
times.
doing? He's watching the most ridiculous sticky trap on the right hand side after he sees all of the Anime team push out. All absolute nonsense from the Russian demo man there. But Forsaken's getting annihilated as well. The Ubers are traded, and there's quite a bit of time on the point there from Nuki. Forsaken's got such a task here with this solo Uber charge. They're just going to flood onto him on the point. He gets battered by everybody, and White Glow as well gets taken down by Nation. They have got control of this point, and this DM fight as well is looking decent for them. Shadowburn is going to try and rescue it from the jaws of defeat there. Snags the frag onto Fragmented and is going to meet Nuki as well. Can he manage to pick that one up? No, he can't, as the scouts of Nuki and Walters clean house. They only have to hold on to this for another 5 seconds. Looking great here for Animate.
Yeah, nice rockets. We're going to try and get the point. White Glow gets on in just the nick of a time, but it costs him his life. In comes Nation. Both soldiers here. They're both weak though. Human's going to kill 2, and Nuki's only on 34 HP. He goes in with a pistol. Nuki hits every pistol shot, forces him back. He's still weak. GDK and Shadowburn are desperately trying to cap this point back, but they don't have any heals as of yet. They have to stay alive, and they have to hold on to this point for a minute and a half. White Glow isn't there now. He's desperately trying to find his weak players to heal him up. He hooks up with them now, and again, Animate just need to make one push.
Yeah, that's such a tough ask to hold on to this for a minute and a half. Kenzie is going to have to go huge. Here he is on China, trying to hit a body shot onto somebody. The first frag has gone to Unhuman, and he's down. Ryder trades though, but all of the frags go in the way of Animate. Just such a lovely aggressive play. In come the soldiers trying to get something done. But if they played like that all the time, they would be crushing Serpents. look at that push at the end. They're so aggressive, so beautifully synchronized with Natural and Nation, with Nuki and Walters flooding in afterwards. It was perfect, and Serpents had absolutely no answer to it. I hope they keep doing that on all of the mid-fights, all of the pushes. They'd be running away with this Animate.
Shadowburn's going so deep, so early. Straight onto Fragment. He's not actually hit him yet, but he's actually opened the door for his scouts to come in. Unhuman's going to kill Fragmented, and that aggression from the Russians have put him so far back. Shadowburn's still alive, still dealing out damage somehow. Met up with his medic. How was Shadowburn go the first one in and the only one to survive?
Crazy, and now he's going to be playing the pocket role, defending against a scout and a soldier, and he can do that perfectly well as well. He's got the DM and the ability to completely shut down these players, but there's far too many coming in for just him to deal with. In come the rest of the team. Riders in for a really deep bomb. They're going to try and put damage onto GDK there and Forsaken, but they've committed so hard to this. They're going in for all the frags.
Again,
oh my god.
Nation.
Nation just needs to work on his serfs or something, obviously, because he is getting annihilated.
Forsaken's on Fragmented. He's got him so low. 10 HP left on him. The scout's trying to chase desperately. Walters just sacrifices himself to protect his medic. Fragmented's got the resup and will hang on to the 50% he had built up, but it's still a massive advantage. And I imagine this might be another suicide wave. Shadowburn standing on cliff, just winding up for more air shots. One soldier jumps behind. Nation trying to be a distraction. Riders coming in. He's onto the medic. Whiteglow's dodging him. There's a soldier in now on Whiteglow as well. Whiteglow's holding. He's holding.
What a hold.
Great.
What a ballsy hold there from Whiteglow on 44 health.
Right in his face as well. The soldier was right in his face, and he showed no fear, complete faith in his team. So they didn't get them force out, so it's now going to be Uber versus Uber, and Nuki looks like he's going on Sniper for this push out. Forsaken holding close, just trying to get that early damage. He's actually just going to get picked off because they all came through the same door, and that's going to allow lots of space for Nuki to find to get his way in here. And he's going to start scoping up on that China side. And
Kenzie's working the flank on Natural as well. Might be able to find that frag. He's going to actually maybe trade with him. No, Kenzie down really weak. Walter's surely going to find the reply frag, yeah. And they're going to be trading over at this point. Nuki did ring out a headshot onto GDK, I think, forcing a flash onto him. And so this Uber slightly better for Animate. But they're not really, they haven't really got any position.
Yeah, GDK's trying to walk across the point now, but he's not got a lot loaded. And there's a soldier threatening behind as well, and that's going to force him back. Whiteglow's taking quite a lot of damage. Nation's going to get a final rocket on him as well. It's now just Forsaken versus a low scout. Flicks and kills himself instead of Walters. And Animate clean it up.
Yeah, they come out on top of that one, and they managed to find the frag onto Whiteglow, so they've got a 45% Uber advantage here. Score still 1-1, and they are a minute and 15 seconds behind on the cap time in this third round. Nuki finds a frag on Shadowburn. That is air shots out of the equation there for in comes GDK as well.
Going for
spamming stickies down as he jumps, just pumping out the damage. Fragmented and Natural so weak. Oh my god, as if Fragmented survives there, as if he manages to get out, surfing down onto the health kit, which had absolutely vanished and has to go all the way back to spawn. But that was an unsuccessful suicide wave. Oh my god.
Fully charged body shot, knocks Ryder so far back, he actually takes full damage because he went so far down the slope.
What? That's unbelievable.
Nuki does neutralise Kenzie though. And Animate are going to try and stabilise, but Whiteglow's nearly at his Uber, and there's a soldier behind though. Shadowburn will go down, but he's causing such a distraction. He's not even gone down yet. Finally they get him. GDK and Forsaken have bombed in as well. I think that was a suicide attempt perhaps. They've used the Uber in. They've only got both scouts left. And there's so many weak players actually. The scouts could maybe clean them all up. Whiteglow's going to surf away from Natural perfectly, but in comes Nation. They're trying to deny him, but
they need to get on the point
as well.
I think they've forgotten that they have to cap the point there because Serpents actually managed to find it in the midst of that DM fight. Ryder getting pressured once again. They're focusing that guy so hard. He's just not even had the slightest bit of an impact in this game. But their GDK takes a headshot, so maybe feeling a bit of the pain himself. They're trying to get this cap time, but the time is just ticking away here for Serpents. So much time being eroded from the point. A full 45 seconds has been ticked off the timer so far. Forsaken with another small headshot. Another frag from Forsaken.
He's getting arrows constantly from Whiteglow. Whiteglow's keeping Forsaken alive for so long. GDK's bombed in. Shadowburn's behind. Shadowburn's going to get two, including a medic. He goes for skill stick is out. Natural reloads a rocket just in time. Unhuman wants to chase though. He's going to two-shot Nation instead. Now Forsaken's in and kills
Oh my
the
god.
sniper. Absolute chaos.
Ryder is just having the worst game in the world. Gets headshot by Kenzie and then finished off by an arrow from White Glow, and he's just not enjoying his life right now. We've got a pause.
Yeah,
we
paused.
It's a pause, which is an interesting time for a pause, actually.
Yeah. Well, oh wait.
Oh, hello. We might be going back into it
pretty
very quickly.
quickly.
Yeah. A little unpause, repause there, but this round looks firmly in the bag for Serpents. It would require a miracle for Animate to come back into this.
Chat are claiming that Nation is DDoSing to stop himself getting a airshot.
That's very possible. I'm more worried about
do it.
Ryder. Ryder's getting absolutely spanked in this game. Natural's actually keeping the point alive here, and Fragmented and Walters are going to try and come back into it, but no, there's an Uber on the point. There's no possible way. Kenzie with the snipe as well. And that is going to be 2-1 in favour of Serpents. They're running kind of hot and cold. Sometimes it looks like Animate are doing so much better, and then suddenly Serpents are just hitting everything. The soldiers are going ham. Kenzie's hitting all the headshots, and it all just works out perfectly for them. Let's have a look at this fourth mid-fight.
Yeah, Kenzie keeping to sniper for these mids. And again, look, Nation going straight behind, trying to bait that aggression, going to try and catch out Shadowburn now, it looks like. But he's caught in between Unhuman as well. But look how defensive they are right now. The Russian Serpents just on their own side, waiting for Kenzie to get a pick to open up their aggression. But their flank is completely wide open. Walters and Natural are starting to arrive. GDK's fighting him, but Walters are going to take him down. Kenzie kills Fragmented before Natural can get on him, and kills Natural as well. Now, Nookie is still trying to get behind, but White Glow has stayed alive through all of this, and look at them all grouped up around White Glow. They should be able to take everyone down here. Kenzie just ripping off the frag. That's free for Kenzie so far this middle. They do pop the Uber, but they're going to clean up every last Animate player. And GDK timing out is, I think, why we had that pause as we see it real time.
And I think that's actually quite an interesting play there, because they succeeded in what they wanted to do. As soon as Fragmented went down, they were just trying to get the Uber charge popped off White Glow, and they actually got a lot of time off the point as well. So while it might look like a really good play from Serpents, I think it was actually Animate that played that one slightly better. But look at this collapse! Oh, what an unbelievable collapse! And then the headshot as well onto Nation. Oh my god, absolute destruction there from Unhuman and Forsaken. Absolutely inhuman plays. And White Glow, oh, it is going to get caught by Ryder. Great bomb from him. And that's just another ridiculous, inexplicable and unpredictable play from Serpents.
Yeah, Ryder really salvaged that for him with that medic pick at the end. That's going to allow, because Fragmented went down so early, he's actually spawned already. As Nookie's going aggressive, Unhuman's going aggressive as well. Kenzie's still sniping. White Glow's only just getting back onto the field right now, though. Kenzie's going to kill Ryder. I'm starting to feel really bad for him as well now. Kenzie's killing off Nation as well. And Kenzie's opened this door up for the soldiers. Animate are just backing away from the points, saying Serpent's going to have it. Just please don't headshot us anymore.
And this is match point here for for Serpents. Animate absolutely have to win this. Look at the bombing from GDK as well, pumping out so much damage, but Nookie isn't going to die there, and they are going to find the frag onto him, so they just heal up, and now they want to push back in. Kenzie's already taken the shot, and it has missed both of those, so he's going to fall back a little bit, and Nation is going to bomb in and get the successful pick on him. Great play by Nation to be able to shut down that sniper threat.
Yeah, and again, both teams just sort of overcommitting here and just sort of gifting it to the opposition to take back. Animate need to win this round to stay in this if they have any hope of taking all 6 points. And now we see Serpents coming in. They've already got Shadowburn behind. They force the Uber out straight away. They are going to drop GDK in this though. But Forsaken has got a much better Uber to work with. Look at Ryder. He surfs it out, but he's so low on 12 HP. Shadowburn comes flying back in now as well. They're cleaning up all the players. No, they're not. It's just DM on the point right now. Shadowburn's pumping out damage. Kenzie's trying to clean him up, but Ryder survived that whole thing. And it's just been raining out stickies on him the entire time. Now Forsaken's trying to go aggressive onto Ryder and Nation, but he's low on HP as well. He kills Ryder. He chases him all the way back.
And in all of this, they still haven't capped the point. It's kind of crazy. It's like Serpents get so caught up with DMing everything that they forget that there is a point to cap, and the purpose is king of the hill. I think they maybe they've been taking too many lessons from TLR. Yeah. So they did bleed a lot of time off there. They are still actually at a disadvantage in this round, and Animate absolutely have to keep this up. Shadowburn's done a lot of damage on that tunnel area. Oh, actually finds the frag on Nation in a 2v1 against Natural and Nation in that tiny little corridor area. What is going on? The rockets that Shadowburn's been producing this map are just godly.
So many directs on scouts as well. Not always finding a frag, but just denying them completely. And they're going to force them back now. Now Serpents are really setting up to hammer this Uber home. Fragmented needs to get out of here, but GDK is so aggressive, but Fragmented hits the Serp, takes it out, and GDK gets caught overextending. Now it's Animate's turn to go aggressive, but they're losing people, and they might just wait for their soldiers to respawn here before taking in this Uber advantage.
Yeah, they do have the Uber advantage though. GDK and Shadowburn still to spawn in another few seconds, so they're going to be able to get in on the cliff relatively for free. They want to try and get as much room as they possibly can before Shadowburn and GDK are there to spam them. That's exactly what they're doing, getting in a position where they can use that Uber charge. Big bomb from Nation, but for Forsaken going to be replying with one of their own. And Fragmented forced to pop it off. Saves Natural in the nick of time as well. And this could actually be a decent situation for them. But Whiteglow has that 60% Uber. And now they have the disadvantageous spawns.
Yeah, it's neck and neck for time right now. Animate move into their last 30 seconds. The Serpents are trying to move this Uber advantage through that corridor side. Ryder's going to get caught out, sandwiched by Forsaken, coming in the back end of that corridor. But Natural's going to try and follow up, but can do nothing but trade for a soldier. And out comes Nation on Heavy. But they have Uber. They're just going to use the Uber and just going to smash this Heavy down. He gets completely devastated. Fragmented is caught out on the right. And actually, there's a soldier behind! Shadowburn's gonna run into Fragmented!
No
the
way!
calls weren't there! And they just back out, and Shadowburn gets the pick.
He was running with the escape plan all the way to spawn and then just switched to his rockets right at the end as he ran into Fragmented. That is such a big play there. Natural's in, doesn't quite know who to shoot at. Whiteglow only down to 6 health. Yeah, shoots himself instead, but there's only 11 seconds on the point here for Animate, and they do have the better spawns. Ryder going huge, picks up Inhuman and Whiteglow, and Nation's found the frag. This is it for Animate. They are going to be able to take this round. This is unbelievable. Clutch performance right at the end here. Shadowburn is just going to be denied in that tunnel area. Kenzie's got all the work to do.
Yeah,
10 seconds.
They just went back at the wrong time because Shadowburn needed help. A bit of lack of sync. They need to keep this point alive, and Human's going to try and run on it. Here comes the jump. Shadowburn gets a scout as he jumps in. He wasn't quite on the point.
Final round. This is match point for both of the teams here. This is all for the 3 points that Violet can offer. This is for the skins as well. This is for the saloon skins. Are they saved or are they going to Animate? But let's take a look. Kenzie is going to be rolling out Sniper again on that cliffside. The classic, slightly more passive mid-fight here from Serpents, but Unhuman's taking a ton of damage. Now would be the time to stream across the point, but Animate again playing so passively themselves, even when they're running both scouts, and they're just letting Kenzie get in a position where he could take these frags, and 2 already, and Ryder down as well. Animate are playing these mids so poorly.
Kenzie gets another one as Walters tries to retreat. Again, I think that's the second mid in a row, and that's been 3 frags from Kenzie.
Jump! All they need to do, Animate, is jump.
Yeah, now we're going to see Animate building up that last bit of their Uber. We see the Russians trying to hold, not like a forward hold, just a really odd, like, nonsense forward hold, with Unhuman hiding and GDK just sticky in left. They're all going to come out cliff, so it doesn't matter, but Kenny doesn't get the fully charged body shot. The Uber's denied, he body shots Ryder, denies his jump as well. In come the soldiers, it's all on Nation, he messes up his jump, he's going to be picked off. But GDK, I think Whiteglow popped to save GDK there, just keep everyone alive. And they're going to clean up all the players, only losing Shadowburn. And Fragmented's only alive now, so the Ubers are equal, so they've not really lost too much. Nookie's even still in here on Sniper. Kenzie goes with a close range headshot. Cleans him up. The DM's just so good.
Yeah, it is. And they might have overextended here a little bit, though, with GDK and Inhuman. They're both combining together onto Nation. They're only hits 1 shot out of 6 there on Human. That was so bad. But Nation down to 20 HP. But they need Nation to really be making the room for them. Walter's taking matters into his own hands, takes down Kenzie, and they're surely going to be able to find this frag onto Shadowburn. Shadowburn miles up in the air, misses the air shot there, does Nation, but going to be able to find the frag anyway. And they do have a slight Uber disadvantage. In fact, it's fairly sizable. Whiteglow could definitely use this.
Yeah, with the faster spawns as well, without them having the point, this is a really good situation for Serpents. They all have their buffs right now, and they can just come in. And look how deep Fragmenter's holding. He knows it as well. He doesn't want to risk anything. GDK is going to lead for charge. The Uber is popped. We're going to try and focus down Ryder, but the Uber's there for Fragmented. But GDK's jumped behind, trying to fight a Scout. The Scout's jumping over, though. GDK can't hit any of the air pipes, and will get taken down. But the soldiers from Serpents are doing so much work in the meantime. It doesn't really matter. Now the Scouts have capped the point. Serpents actually focusing the point during that push as well. Really nice play. And now Forsaken's all over Fragmented. Will frag him down. Will survive on 7 HP. And it's up to the few remaining players of Animate. Walters is trying to find an angle to come in. He's just trying to create a distraction. But he's just outnumbered. And there's no one left to bomb in. And Serpents regain the point. They are 1 minute and 20 seconds away from winning this map.
They are indeed, and the timer is ticking down for them. They have the Ubercharge advantage as well. White Glow on 90%. Nuki's going to try and dance onto the point here, but they really need to start making things work. Natural perfectly predicts Shadowburn there, and on Human really weak as well. Natural needs some kind of arrow or heals or something, is going to receive them, but Nation has traded with GDK in the meantime and popped off the Ubercharge here. So nice play from the rest of Animate, and they've got control of the point. Is this going to be one of those situations where Serpents forget they have to cap, and then suddenly
they
all
just
get
about
attracted
remembered.
to the point?
Oh no, off they go. They submit for a fraction of a second, but Forsaken has other ideas, and he takes down Nuki.
And that's an
Fragmented.
8K.
Yep. Absolutely devastating them. They do cap the point. GDK and White Glow getting that one. They're picking off Natural as well. They're so aggressive. It's working. They're just completely out-DMing Animate when they take the fight to them. Kenzie here just denying that soldier as well, just wasting so much of their health. It will actually cost him his life, maybe not worth it in the long term. But they're holding really defensive now. The soldier gets denied. He's super weak and forced out. They're spamming the point. Nation gets picked off. Fragmented's catching a bit of spam, but he should be fine as Animate Scouts dominate the point here. And Ryder's going to jump in, maybe needlessly, but he's okay. Fragmented's there helping him. And they're actually turning us into picks right now, Animate. Really good controlled aggression, and they find 2 picks. They have a slight Uber disadvantage, but I don't think Serpents will be there in time to make any use of it.
No, that's not going to come into it here, but the timer certainly will. Only 33 seconds here. This is going to be a horrific Ubercharge, though, from Forsaken and GDK. How do they find Walters in that? Shadowburn as well, just dancing around people, not going to give himself as a frag, and they've baited all of Animate onto the point. And GDK is going ham, so much damage being pumped out there. Nation gets fragged, a full wipe after such a terrible Uber. They just baited Animate onto the point, and I don't even know. The fact that Forsaken was able to find Walters in the Ubercharge, even though it was so bad, it boggles my mind anyway. And then they all vanished and then collapsed. It was actually really well coordinated.
Kenzie's trying to hold close as well, but actually gets caught between a sandwich of all the Animate players. Animate have to make this push work. They've got 1 frag already. They forced out the soldier as well. And it looks like White Glow just wants to wait for this Uber advantage. They don't want to overcommit here. In fact, they're waiting. They're baiting Nation forward. Animate get the cap, but if they lose it, there's only 4 seconds that Serpents need to achieve, and Serpents have gone back to spawn. They want that Uber advantage. They're going to push with Uber now. 2 scouts, 2 soldiers, no need for a sniper. They're going to force them back. Look how defensive Animate are. Animate are desperately going to try and wait for that Uber, but Nuki goes down. They're walking in, the Uber's being used. Fragmenter's trying to move forward, he's on 93%. They lose Ryder. Fragmenter's not going to get it. This is catastrophic right now. It's all on Nation and Walters, but there's not enough health. It's just Nation. He kills 1. He's desperately trying to kill everyone, but they're just going to get picked off, and Serpents will get 3 points on Viaduct, making it 3-3 for the night. Everyone's skins are safe.
Absolutely. Everyone's skin saved, and our predictions come true. I mean, I think Serpents did play very well. They came back into it at the end there on Viaduct. They were looking a little bit sloppy, but the DM just being shown at the end there was just phenomenal. Let's take a look at these logs as well. Nuki actually got 100 points at the end as well.
Look at this. Forsaken 36 to 22. Nuki went 45 to 21. Kenzie 41 to 23, and Shadowburn got 33 to 26 as well. Nation with 42 deaths.
Yeah, like when you have these players with so many frags, there have to be players with so many deaths.
Natural as well, 33. But yeah, the Animate soldiers really feeling the toughness of that one.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's it's just crazy from the soldiers from Serpents, Shadowburn, and Forsaken. Is doing so much work. The damage is just insane that they managed to put out there.
Yeah, as well. What 25 air shots between them as well. Shadowburn with 15,
and Shadowburn only taking 4k heals for all of the work that he was doing there. Is crazy. He was just doing that all on the flank, all on his own.
Yeah, complete dominant performance by the two Russian soldiers right there.
Yeah, fantastic stuff from Shadowburn and Forsaken, and it's pretty incredible what they managed to do. But what's that is going to end up with yeah, thank you, I will use my words. I was having 3 different sentences cook in my head at the same time there. That is going to leave them with 3 points apiece on the maps. How do you think that's going to impact them going forwards? Do you think both of the teams are going to be happy with that?
I guess it's a bit of a weird one. Like at the moment, obviously this takes them off the bottom of the table, puts them above Dogs with 3 points each. Dogs still on 0. I don't know. Like I guess they're you know what I mean. They're not really fighting for a playoff spot. You know, they're sort of below that tier. They're just kind of fighting for pride and performance. So they're probably kind of both, I guess, equally happy. You know, they both played some good TF2. They won a map apiece. Not too much more in it, really.
I think they both kind of cemented themselves as being not the punching bags of season 22 as well. They're going to leave that to Dogs.tf
or TLR.
Yeah, potentially TLR. Yeah, yeah. Oh god. Well, after the interesting snippets of gossip we were having in the stream chat, I think we'll have to have a look at the TLR games moving forward throughout the season. But I think we've got some players in for interviews as well, just to talk about that game and how it went. I don't know whether you can draft anybody in from Serpents, but we are joined by Nation in the Mumble as well. So good day to you, Nation. You managed to pick up 3 points from that fixture, although Viaduct just slipped out of your grasp there. Let's talk about Viaduct first. What was it like playing against the Serpents team?
Well, I said like 5 times during the game that Shadowburn just slammed me so hard.
Yeah, we saw. Yeah, don't worry.
He hit like 4 double air shots on me. I was quite disappointed in me. It was so good. Like, it was a good game though. Like, obviously they were a better team, and I enjoyed that game so much, honestly. Like, well, I think we are in the position to be like one of the worst teams in Prem, and having like close games or like fun games to play, that's just great. Like 5 overalls all the time. But Viaduct was kinda like we could have it, but maybe a different day.
So, how did were you expecting going into it to take a map apiece? Is that the same level that you were estimating going into the game?
Well, I talked to Forsaken like 2 days ago, and he told me Kenzie is gonna snipe. So I was like, that's gonna be pretty easy because no way he's gonna be better than Forsaken. But after the Gullywash game, I was kind of like not as confident as usual. Viaduct. It was just something different. But
yeah, Kenzie picked up the sniper rifle quite a lot in that game, and he was doing a lot of work. What were your thoughts on how to counter that? Were you consciously running Nuki on sniper quite a lot to try and counter it, or were you trying to run him on scout and just be aggressive?
I think Nuki said himself that he's not very confident on sniper at the moment. So like, my personal plan to this game was just going behind as much as I can and try to pick him up. I think I was doing it quite well, to be honest. Because like, I knew they're gonna run sniper most of the time, so I wanted to expose their flank a little bit because I knew there's gonna be only Shadowburn there. And it went like 50-50 because it ended up in like 1v1 situations all the time. But we, like, as the start of the season, we were pretty passive as a team. Like, we didn't want to push ever, and we had like a big talk about it that we didn't want to do it anymore. So we tried to be a little bit more aggressive in like every map we can play.
Yeah, I think you certainly saw that. Like tonight, it wasn't really a stalemate at any point. I guess Serpents never really let it be a stalemate either, just constantly trying to go aggressive. But you certainly had some good like aggressive pushes as well. Like, Natural taking a lot of stuff in, getting the plays, and just open it up for Walters and Nookie.
Yeah.
I think there were a few occasions on Viaduct where I would have liked your team to try and really just play aggressively into the sniper and try and negate it that way rather than slowly making your way across the point, maybe on the mid fights and stuff like that as well. But it was an insanely fast-paced game.
Yeah. Well, we are just kind of new to him being like aggressive or fast team, so you just need to get used to it, and everything is going to be better.
How do you feel then going into, obviously, your next game is against Dogs? Yeah, on Viaduct and Process. Does it give you confidence going into that? You know, pretty solid performance here. And obviously, they're the other team at sort of the bottom end of the table.
Well, I think they dropped Saini from the team, who is like obviously one of the best snipers in Europe right now. So I feel very confident against them on Viaduct and Process. But like for us as a team, it's the most important game in the season right now, because that's like it's gonna be us or them who's gonna be like the last team in Prem, like the worst team basically.
The battle to not be last.
What about Serpents? Do you not think that they could end up sucking out against some of the other teams and end up in that last place spot?
I don't think with this lineup. Like this is probably the best lineup they can, like Russia can offer right now. If Vigor is gonna stay and GDK is gonna like play again as much as he used to, I think they can be like very competitive team against probably Tilal, maybe they actually played Reason before.
Yeah, they've already played Reason and Epsilon.
Every other team. Well, for me it was kind of expected for them to lose both of these matches against like super teams, you know. But now it's gonna be only good games for them.
There is also a 100% chance Full Tilt can completely choke on Viaduct next week against Serpents.
Yeah.
Right, Sideshow?
Absolutely. I mean, we're going to lose all the points the rest of the season. So, how do you think? Are you just then aiming for the rest of the season not to end up in that last place spot?
No. There's always fight for top spot and not the last spot, you know. But like as you could see in last week, we can't compete against Epsilon or Reason. We can't even compete against your team. So I'm very honest with that. We're not gonna be like on the top of the table this season for sure. But obviously we will win some games, you know.
And then you're gonna be sticking around. You're gonna be playing season 23 and battling your way up the ranks. Maybe that's a little bit of a long shot. What do you think about the TLR drama? You won't have heard of it. Happy's left the roster. Nico's joined.
Really? I heard about some like on Twitch chats about some Nursey drama, but I rarely ever speak with any one of them, so I have no idea what's happening on that team.
No, I have no idea either. That is going to be my my itinerary for the evening as soon as the stream ends, which I think we're ready to wrap it up about now. Do you have any shoutouts, Nation CX? No. Well, that ends that then. Okay, well, we've been Team Fortress TV with Sideshow.
Wait. Actually, I just want to give a shout out to Root. He's a Russian player. I don't know if any of you guys remember him. He used to play like Roma/Sniper in Russian teams. You probably remember him more for his frag videos, some really sick shots. Played Quake a lot as well. Unfortunately, he's recently passed away from cancer. So obviously very sad news. So just a final shout out to him, and go check out his frag videos on YouTube.
Yeah, the frag videos are absolutely insane. His they're fantastic from like ages ago, from like 2011, 2012. So check those guys out.
He's the guy who, because of who I started playing Soldier, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's lovely. Well, we have been Team Fortress TV. We're going to leave you on that somber thought. I'm Sideshow with CX and ondkaja, and we've been covering Animate versus Serpents. We'll see you again for more EU Premiership action.